Evening, Your Worship.
Good evening, good evening. I guess we're waiting on Gerard. Councillor Tilley, I don't see him on the line. I think he's probably trying to hook him on.
He just texted me, Mayor, and wondering if Liz could let him in. Apparently, he is having trouble joining.
Oh, there he is. Everyone's
All right.
aboard? All right. Who'd ever thought that we'd be doing this for the second go around? Looks like we'd probably be doing it half of the summer as well. So first of all, I call the regular meeting of May the 5th, 2020 to order. Next, we'll have the adoption of agendas and minutes. Adoption of the meeting agenda for May 5th, 2020.
So moved.
Seconder?
Second,
Adoption of the meeting minutes of April 21st, 2020.
Moved.
Adopt. So moved.
Second.
Business arising from previous minutes. There being none. So instead of going to new business, I think I'll tick off the proclamations first. Visitors, presentations and petitions, and of which we have 3 proclamations. So I'd like to start off by doing them, and then we can come back to new business. First of all, proclamation World Ovarian Cancer Day. Whereas 2,800 Canadian women will be newly diagnosed with ovarian cancer this year, and whereas ovarian cancer is the 5th most common cancer for women and the most serious women's cancer, and whereas ovarian cancer has no reliable screening test and symptoms are often confused with other less severe illnesses, and whereas as many as 23% of women with ovarian cancer have an inherited genetic mutation, and whereas genetic testing is a way to identify people at high risk before they develop ovarian cancer. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Terry French, Mayor of Town of Conception Bay South, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, May the 8th, 2020, World Ovarian Cancer Day. I encourage all citizens of Conception Bay South and the province to talk to their health providers about ovarian cancer and seek to learn more about the disease. The second proclamation, the 51st Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week. And I guess this is specific to our very own clerk, Gail Pomeroy, who sometimes she's like the fun police, but most times she's just keeping us in line. And for that, I thank her. So the proclamation, whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels, and whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all, and whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community, whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, country, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk. Now, therefore, I, Terry French, Mayor of Conception Bay South, do recognize the week of May the 3rd through May the 9th, 2020 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Gail Pomeroy, and to all professional municipal clerks for the vital service they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. So thank you very much, Gail, and I encourage everyone to be extra nice to you this week, recognizing your profession. Next is the third proclamation is Economic Development Week. And we have our very own Economic Development Department as well, headed by Jennifer Lakes. Jennifer, we're acknowledging our professional staff this evening. whereas the International Economic Development Council is the largest professional economic development organization of its kind, and the Economic Developers Association of Canada is the national organization dedicated to serving economic developers. And whereas the Economic Developers Association of Newfoundland and Labrador is the provincial organization of economic developers pursuing excellence in the field by striving to enhance the professional competence of economic development officers to advance economic development as a distinct, recognized, and self-governing profession, and to contribute to the province's economic well-being. And whereas Economic Developer Associations provides leadership and support for communities, members, and partners through conferences, training courses, best practices, awards of excellence, and initiatives such as the Certified Economic Developer designation. And whereas the field of economic development is diverse, with economic developers having a unique set of skill sets and engaged in a wide variety of settings, tailoring their approach based on the community's needs. And whereas the town of Conception Bay South recognizes and celebrates that economic developers promote economic well-being and quality of life for their communities through community development, attracting new investment, supporting and retaining local business, promoting job growth, and encouraging a stable tax base, and that businesses support and develop is crucial to the validity of our communities. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and Town Council of Conception Bay South do hereby recognize May 4th to the 9th, 2020 as Economic Development Week in Conception Bay South and remind individuals of the importance of economic development in our communities. So again, thank you very much, Jennifer, and your staff for contributing to our town. So next, we'll go back to item number 3 now, which is new business. And Deputy Mayor Murphy, do you want to kick off?
Okay, no problem, Your Worship, and thank you. I have very little to say, actually, other than, of course, we continuing down this road in the state of our pandemic. And while the news has been great from a provincial standpoint with respect to new cases, we're doing very, very good. But I, like the rest of the people, I'm very cautious, and I would, advise the public, especially our residents, to not let their guard down and continue on with the recommendations that have been set forth by the Office of the Public Health Advisor. Yesterday, I do believe that was observed as International Firefighters Day, and of course, I have to have a go at this one because of where I came from. But I would like to recognize the firefighters internationally, but especially our own firefighters here in Conception Bay South, being on the front line in these very trying times. They're having their challenges as well. So I would like to recognize the firefighters, both career and volunteer, in Conception Bay South, and offer them our best wishes and encourage them to stay safe and be safe. Go home after every shift. That's all I have, Your Worship. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Murphy. Next, we have Councillor Uden.
Yeah, a few things this evening, Your Worship. First of all, I'd certainly like to echo your appreciation to both Gail and Jennifer for, I guess, the work they do. I know Gail for keeping us all on the right track, and certainly is not an easy task at the best of times. And Jennifer, certainly over the last several years, has certainly been a lifeline into our business community and our various community groups and so forth. Just a couple of things I'd like to highlight on the virtual programming. Our rec staff continues to reinvent themselves and how they do business and so forth. Councillor Bent and Councillor Tilley did horribly on Thursday trivia night, and they're getting around 45 participants a thing, and I'm told that both of those councillors are the first out of any trivia contest. Foodie Fridays is something that they're promoting, which kind Recipes for the Heart is this week's theme, and all proceeds that they garner will go to the CBS Paradise Food Bank. So they're going to do a community cookbook, and hopefully that can help there. For some of us that are sitting during the day and working from home, and for those who are, I guess, a little bit less mobile, they've developed a video of a chair workout, and it's for all ages, and it uses equipment in your home, which is kind of innovative. I think on May 11th, they're going to do a free webinar on nutrition and mental health. And on May 13th, they're going to do a virtual open mic night, which is kind of different and exciting to see. So despite the fact that we haven't got our facilities open, both Carla and Natasha and our recreation staff are reinventing how they deliver programming to the community. The last thing I'd like to highlight is we all received an email from Eric Cart, who highlighted that they went ahead with their banquet, and certainly on behalf of all the council, I'd certainly like to thank Eric. He won Coach of the Year and that program, but they did it virtually, which is really good to see that they're continuing on as best they can. And the participants in these programs got to enjoy the year-end banquet, albeit virtually. So that's it for me this evening, Your Worship. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Uden. Councillor Tilley.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm not going to rehash what Kirk or Councillor Uden and Deputy Mayor Murphy just said. So my only thought for tonight was that I challenge the other 6 councillors to join us on Thursday night, and we'll see who's in back of the bus. Take care.
I got to remember that for Thursday night.
Oh, I'll call you.
All right, do that.
You're on, Councillor Tilley.
Councillor Hillier.
Gee, Your Worship, he sounds pretty tough. Not sure if I want to line up with him at all.
I'm a Falcon, buddy. Born and raised.
Yes, sir. Actually, that's where I coach, Councillor. Your Worship, just a quick note. Can't help but see as I move around the town more and more in the last couple of days, more and more of our staff vehicles out and about. Great to see our union people out. We're water and sewer trucks around. We started street sweeping this past week. Today we restarted recycling down around Worsley Park, Topsail Beach. They're going to reopen, and we've got our staff down there doing some work. So it's great to see those people out and about. I just want to thank them and I guess all of our union employees for their cooperation and support over the last 7 weeks. I was out for a walk one morning, and I stopped going up Fowler Road to have a chat with one of our crews that was redoing potholes, filling potholes, while keeping social distancing. Now that was an interesting dance, let me tell you, because these guys are used to putting their head down and go to work. But we've had a good 7 weeks. We've done some work. Our union crews have been out. That's starting to increase, and I guess we look forward to getting closer and closer to normal over the next couple of months. Thank you very much.
Councillor Bursey.
Sorry, I didn't know I was next. Your Worship, it's all passed this evening, thanks.
Sorry, Councillor Bent, I did pass you. Sorry
You
about
did,
that.
that's why you caught me off guard.
I'm sure it wasn't on purpose, Your Worship.
No, absolutely not.
Just a couple of things. First of all, with regards to the trivia night and being one of the first to bail, I'm waiting for my category, which would be hit songs of 1980 and Edmonton Oilers trivia between 1981 and 1987. So when those categories come up, I think I'm in for a good night. But I encourage everybody to get onto the trivia night because it's great fun. We had more people each week for the last 3 weeks, and I think we're over 40 now. So it is a good bit of fun and family fun too. It's good for everybody to join in. Just a couple of things, Your Worship. Tonight I wanted to speak for a moment again about the Spirit of Alex and Riley food drive, and we're midway through one of the most important fundraisers held in this town each year. In Conception Bay South, we celebrate the memories of Alex and Riley Mercer on their birthday, May 9th. And the way we do that is by giving back to the community in their memory through donations to the CBS Paradise Food Bank. And this year is a little different because of COVID-19, but still just as important. So instead of an in-person donation event like we normally hold, Alex and Riley's parents, Louise and Bernie Mercer, have gone online for donations that will go directly to the food bank. So all this week, right through the 9th, which is this Saturday, anyone can donate through the website canadahelps.org, which is linked directly to the local food bank. So whether it's $5, $10, $100 more, every single cent is important to sustain our food bank. And you'll be honoring the memories of the children through your donations. And with the food bank serving 320 families each month here in CBS in Paradise, the Mercers have set a goal of $20,000. And I said this before, and I think it bears worth repeating. If we were to put 4 tins of soup in a basket, that's 1 tin of soup per family per month. And we estimate about $1 for the tin of soup, and we know it's more than that. It would cost $1,280 for the food bank to supply 1 tin of soup for each family for each week for a solid month. So that's a lot of money, and it goes very quickly, and it's not very much. You can't live on a tin of soup for a week, that's for sure. So this year, as always, the town of Conception Bay South is promoting this event. So I encourage everyone, no matter where you are and no matter how small the donation you can give, please do so. You can go to the town's website. You can go to the town's Twitter account. You'll see promotion for this event. It's in the Shoreline this week, I believe, and you can log in and make your donation and help someone out here in their time of need. And again, I want to thank Louise and Bernie for their selfless work that they do to help our community in such a meaningful way. And I want to thank everyone in advance for donating, and those who have already donated, I want to thank them as well. And just to finish up, your worship, thank you to Gail, our town clerk, and Jennifer in our economic development department for the work that they do. It's a critical work that's much needed and greatly appreciated, I know, by the rest of council. And hats off again to our firefighters this week. Heroes on the job, I call them. Thank you, your worship.
Thank you, Councillor Bent. Councillor Butler.
Thank you, your worship. First of all, I'd like to express condolences to the families of the lives lost in the Canadian Air Force Cyclone helicopter crash. Nova Scotia's seen so much tragedy of late, and this is just one other disastrous tragedy for them. And I just thought our thoughts and prayers could be with them. I did participate in trivia night last Thursday. It was 90s theme. And I realized I was raising my family and I wasn't interested in what was going on in the 90s. Just want to remind everybody in the town that we are currently seeking a business entity for anyone who may be interested in hosting and operating an RV dumping station within the town. Interested entities should reach out to our economic development staff at edcdev@conceptionbaysouth.ca. And of course, I'd also like to express my thanks to Gail and staff and Jennifer and staff for all that they do for the town. Thanks, Rosa.
Councillor Davis.
Nothing for me this evening, your worship. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to be brief too this evening. As most of you know, of course, we just started our recycling program this Monday, and we're going to get back on track. We do have a limit for now of 6 bags, but hopefully that won't last too long, and we'll get caught up on some of the stuff that people were storing. And I just want to say to the residents of the town, I want to thank them for being so understanding. You know, there was very little pushback, and I mean, I understand people's principles around recycling and the effect, you know, how much it makes to the world's environment to recycle. But unfortunately, we couldn't do it because something else was standing in the way. So now that we're back on track, encourage people to continue to recycle, and we'll get caught up over time. But again, thanks very much to the residents. Very little pushback. I know some people had concerns along the way. Council made a decision of not to do it at the times we did for all the right reasons. And certainly was no vested interest by any of us not to do it. Quite the contrary, actually. So it's up and running, and thanks again for cooperating. And I guess the whole piece of cooperation moving into the 11th, we're going to open up some other facilities, some other parks, I should say. But because we're now slowly going to hopefully start opening places in our town, I still want to caution everyone, we can take a backward step in a hurry. So as some of the other councillors mentioned, please continue to social distance. Be careful, remain in your double bubble now instead of your single bubble, and let's get through this. Believe me, I know I'm no different than everybody else in my family. We're all sick of it already. There's enough of it, but we got to continue on and prod along. Listen to the Chief Medical Officer and the Premier, as well as our Minister of Health. Take their advice. It's good advice, and we want to get this done and over with, and we would never want to take a step back. So keep that in mind in your travels. I know it's starting to get a little nicer in the evenings and so on. So, but be careful. Everyone, please be careful. And
Your Worship,
I'll
can I
end with,
interject for a second?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
forgot to mention one thing about recycling. If you give me a minute or so.
Oh, no, go right ahead.
All right,
Go right ahead.
thanks. The curbside recycling resumed for Exception Bay South as a residence today, Tuesday, May 5th, 2020, and will follow a regular collection schedule today, beginning in Area 1A. As a result of a much higher amount of recycling material, our limited shipping capacity, as well as to alleviate pressure on the recycling facility in St. John's for the month of May, there will be a recycling bag limit of 6 bags per collection day, which includes cardboard bundles, and it anticipated that the bag limit will be removed in the coming weeks. Residents are reminded that the cardboard must be placed in a tied up blue bag or bundle no more than 2 feet by 2 feet times 1 foot. Yard waste and bulk garbage collection remains suspended at this time, but we are reviewing operations daily and will commence as quickly as possible. All services changes are considered within safety of the public and employees at the forefront, and in consideration with our neighboring municipalities. Thanks, Your Worship.
Thank you, sir, for filling us in on that recycling. So on that note, I'm going to sign off for the evening, and I just encourage everybody out there to please stay safe. All right, so moving right along to committees, the recommendations of the Planning and Development Committee, Chair Councillor Rex Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship, we've got one recommendation coming forward tonight. It's 7 Boggins Meadow Topsail. Be it so resolved that application number 20-023 seeking approval to operate a cake, pastry, and cookie baking and decorating business as a home-based business from 7 Boggins Meadow be approved, subject to the conditions that no signage related to the business visible to the public is permitted on the property, and the business provide deliveries only, and that finished product pickup service from the property at 7 Boggins Meadow be prohibited. So moved.
Seconder,
Second, Your Worship.
discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, one of our concerns there is that Boggins Meadow is a very small cul-de-sac, and adding extra traffic to that is not where we want to go. So we're asking that the proprietor make the deliveries rather than people come in and pick it up.
All those in
Yeah.
favor? Oh,
Aye.
sorry, someone
Aye.
else there?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, just for a moment, Your Worship, I think there's 2 things that are important about this recommendation. It's it's a sign that the council is supportive of local businesses and try to allow them to flourish. But it's also important that any of these home-based businesses that we do allow don't interfere or disrupt peaceful enjoyment of the neighborhood by area residents that are there. So find a way for them to exist in harmony, I think, is what this recommendation has done by creating a system where we're not increasing traffic on the street and so forth. And I think by allowing the business as a delivery only and not a pickup, we've addressed the key concerns of some of residents, and at the same time have found a way for the business to operate. So as long as the rules are followed, I think we've seen in other cases that things will work out. Hopefully that'll work out here as well. Thank you, Worship.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
Your worship, if I may, Councillor Hillier.
Yes, sir.
At the meeting of, your committee meeting of April 28th, I believe there was some discussions and recommendations made with respect to private land located on Kennedy's Road, which is where I live. So therefore, I will be pulling out of this portion of the meeting, declaring conflict of interest. So if the host can put me in the waiting room, I'll sit here and wait till I'm allowed back in.
Yes, sir. Okay, your worship, the blanket statement. Be it so resolved that the recommendations, decisions made at the Planning and Development Committee meetings of April 24, 28, and 30, 2020 be accepted as presented. So move.
Seconder,
Second.
discussion.
Yes, your worship, we've got three dates there. Basically, we had our regular planning meeting that we do every 2 weeks, but we're trying to move our town plan process forward. So we had a couple of special meetings there to deal with issues from the new town plan.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Councillor Hillier.
Thank you, sir.
Recommendations of Engineering and Public Works Committee Chair, Councillor Junior Bursey. Just before you start, Councillor Bursey, I just want to make sure the Deputy Mayor is back on there.
Okay.
Your worship, I'm going to have to declare conflict in this one. So if I can follow the same rule as the Deputy Mayor, please.
Yeah, okay, we'll get you taken out. Deputy Mayor is back now. If Councillor Tilley can be placed in the penalty box for a little bit when our administrator is ready.
Have I got you?
No,
hey,
I'm still here. I'm fighting to win the penalty box.
Oh, okay. Because I got thrown out of it.
All right, I think he's gone, is he?
All right.
Yeah, okay, carry on, Councillor Bursey.
Yes, yes, your worship. We got one recommendation and the blanket one, of course. To read is presentation of recommendations of the meeting held on April 28, 2020. Flooding 764 to 766 Deception Bay South Highway. Let it be resolved that approval be given to adopt Ladru's Road, Cronin's Ends Place drainage issue report prepared by Progressive Engineering Consultants as presented.
So seconder,
Yeah.
discussion.
Yes, your worship. Just the is just ahead from that. We recognize the stormwater concerns along the Deception Bay Highway to the Drews Road Basin area. As a result of the town engaged a consultant is to review the area, and this report recommends several options for consideration. The area includes the provincial and municipal stormwater infrastructure report findings will be reviewed with the province government to discuss collaboration options and directions. That's what came out of the report that I just read out.
Okay, yeah, and if we could have staff send a copy of that report to Mr. Daryl Cronin. I know the Cronins have been having an issue there for a long time. And I know he'd like to have a copy of the report. So now that it's public, we can certainly share it with him. So if one of the staff could make sure that he gets a copy of that, it'd be greatly appreciated. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
Your worship,
And
was
next-
that Daryl or Keith Cronin? Or both?
Keith.
Keith.
Geez, what did I say, Daryl?
Yeah.
God rest his soul. Good friend of mine. Keith's brother, actually.
Yeah. All right. Your worship, is the number 2 is just a blanket recommendation.
Can you hang
Keith,
on,
always up.
Councillor Bursey?
Yeah.
Just till Councillor Tilley is back on the screen.
Okay. I didn't think it's on in yet.
I'm back.
Okay, carry on, Councillor Mercy.
Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions made at the Engineering and Public Works Committee meeting on April 28th, 2020 be accepted as presented. So
Seconder,
Second.
discussion. All those in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed?
and that's
Carried.
it, Your Worship, for me.
All right, thank you, Councillor Bercy. Recommendations of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee, Chair, Councillor Kirkuden.
You're mute, Kirk. Kirk? Turn on your
Sorry.
mic.
Am I good there now?
Yep, good to go, sir.
Apologies. Two recommendations. First of all, it's the recommendation for busing for summer camp. Well, we have, I guess, a date that's undecided due to COVID. I believe the Chief Medical Officer released at the various alert levels. It was noted that summer day camps can proceed in level 3, but with restrictions. So in lieu of that, we think it's prudent at this time to issue a call or make a recommendation on our busing. So be it so resolved that approval be given to call tender for busing services for Camp Kaleidoscope and Camp Adventure for the summer of 2020. So moved.
Seconder,
Second.
Second,
discussion. All those in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed? Motion carried.
Your Worship, the second recommendation is with regards to our audiovisual service. We review these from time to time. In this case, we call for, I guess, bids, and we are going to award it. It's going to be similar to our green, or sorry, our retro, our review of our energy costing, and that it will be activated once we actually start to use it. So be it so resolved that approval be given to award the request for proposals for audiovisual services agreement for special events to Eastern Audio Limited. The cost of the 2-year contract is $31,100 plus HST. Funds are available in so noted account.
Seconder,
second,
Second.
discussion.
Yeah, just that, the likelihood of, I guess, events going forward in this summer is, as per the Chief Medical Officer, are pretty much non-existent. So once our events start up again, this contract will take effect for a 2-year period.
Thank you very much. All those in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
And a blanket recommendation, be it so resolved that the recommendations, decisions made at the Recreation and Leisure Services meeting of April 27th, 2020 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder,
Second,
Second.
Your Worship.
discussion. All those in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
That's it for me this evening, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Uden. Recommendations of the Financial Admin Services Committee, Chair Deputy Mayor Richard Murphy.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. These are recommendations coming out of a meeting held on April 28th, 2020. Accounts payable check register, be it so resolved that approval be given to pay accounts payable checks totaling $509,804.37. So move.
Seconder,
Second.
discussion. All those in favor?
aye,
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
The next one is ratification of manual checks previously released. Be it so resolved that approval is given to ratify the payment of manual checks previously released totaling $116,382.57. So move.
Seconder,
I'll second it.
Second,
discussion. All those in favor?
Aye,
Those opposed? Motion carried.
The next one is capital invoices. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay capital invoices totaling $17,772.71 as per the attached table. So moved.
Seconder,
Second.
Allison.
And
discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carried.
The next one is tax and other receivables adjustments. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adjust tax and other receivables accounts as follows. There are two there, your worship. One is being approved and the other one, the request is being denied. So moved.
Second,
Second,
Second.
discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carried.
The next one is a change in the meeting schedule, which normally happens each summer. So this year, be it so resolved that the public meetings for the summer months will be held on June 16th, July 14th, and August the 11th. The regular public meeting schedule will resume for the month of September. And a small amendment to this recommendation, your worship, that the meetings for the summer months of June, July, and August will start at 6 p.m. versus 7 p.m. So moved.
Seconder,
I'll
Second.
second that.
discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you,
And-
Deputy Mayor. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
you have to
No, no.
it, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions made at the Financial and Administrative Services Committee meeting of April 28th, 2020 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder,
Second.
discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carried. All right, I think that's it now, Deputy Mayor. Recommendations of the Economic Development and Tourism Committee, Chair Councillor Christine Butler.
Thank you, your worship. Just a couple of quick notes before I get into our blanket recommendation. First of all, I'd like to remind residents that the trailway from Delaney's Road to Doyle's Road remains closed to the public. The reopening of this section of Coastline Trail remains a priority for the town, but only when it is deemed safe to do so. Also, the Community Garden Committee held their second virtual workshop of 2020 on April 23rd with over 100 attendees joining in to hear about preparing healthy soil. The next workshop is scheduled to take place on May 13th and will focus on planting your garden. Please visit them on the Facebook to sign up. And just lastly here, the Conception Bay Area Chamber of Commerce continues their outreach with the regional shop here campaign anticipate to be launched next week. We are looking forward to supporting that initiative and continue to encourage residents to support local. Our blanket recommendation, your worship, be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions made at the Economic Development and Tourism Committee meeting of April 28, 2020 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder,
Second.
discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Those
Thank you.
opposed? Motion carried.
Sorry. Thank you, your worship.
No problem. Other committee reports? There being none, I call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Well, good night,
Take care,
everyone.
guys.
Good night.
Stay safe.
Good night, folks.
Good night. Thank you very much.
Night, everybody.